So yesterday I watched Thor Love and Thunder. Obviously it came out last week or Friday for us, and obviously different in other countries. And personally, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was an amazing film. I thought it was really good. Obviously, the reviews for it at first were very bad. They were very poor. But obviously, I don't listen to critics' reviews. I only listen to my review, and obviously the fans' reviews as well. But obviously, Love and Thunder, it is very similar to Ragnarok, but it is very different as well in its own way. And I think that's very amazing. And obviously, Taika Waititi did that on purpose, and he is an amazing director. And I thought he was perfect for these two Thor films, and they were, like I said, they're very similar in some ways, but very different in other ways as well. They're a lot of ways it is very different. And personally, I really did enjoy Love and Thunder. I thought it was an amazing film, probably the best. I don't know what to say about it. Like between Ragnarok and Love and Thunder, I don't really know which one I prefer. I think Ragnarok is very good, and so is Love and Thunder. But Love and Thunder's story is amazing as well, and so is Ragnarok's. But Love and Thunder, like I said, it's a very amazing film. And if you haven't watched the movie, then obviously don't watch this video. Come back and watch it after. So if you did enjoy the video today of this review, please like and subscribe and tell us what you thought of Love and Thunder as well if you have seen it. So obviously I thought all stories were amazing. Obviously Jane and Thor getting back together, obviously they're going off the comics as well, where Jane has cancer in the comics, and every time obviously she seeks out to become Mighty Thor, obviously because she thinks it will cure the cancer, but in reality it's actually making the cancer worse. And every time she becomes Mighty Thor, it kills her each time. She uses Mjolnir, and yeah, it basically drains her energy out of her, and she obviously can't fight the cancer, which obviously is very sad, but I'll get onto a lot more of Jane in a bit. But obviously Mjolnir, the way she gets her powers as well, is very cool. You know, when I was watching it at first, I was very confused on how she did get the powers of Mighty Thor, but obviously Thor did, when they were together years before, he said to Mjolnir to promise, he basically set an enchantment on it to promise Mjolnir to protect Jane forever, basically, and the enchantment stayed. And yeah, obviously we saw that in the film, and it did stay with her, and it obviously called out to her when she sought out help for the cancer that she had. Obviously I thought it was amazing as well. You know, the film is very comedic like Ragnarok, and I think people mistaked it for more of a comedy film than an actual serious film, because I've seen a lot of people saying it's more comedy, when I wouldn't say that at all. I would say there is a lot of comedy in it, but I think most of this film is mostly serious. You know, it's Thor. You know, at first, when we were first introduced to Thor in the MCU, he was very serious. But as the MCU went on, he started to become more of a jokey character, which obviously some fans did enjoy, some fans didn't. But I really do enjoy how Thor is at the moment. You know, he does have a bit of comedy, but a lot of the time he is very serious. And in this film, we sort of see Jane and Thor's love for each other. It does develop throughout the movie. Obviously, now that they see each other again, Thor is very surprised. And yeah, their love is very strong, as we can see, and obviously Thor has to move on from her at the end, as unfortunately she does die from the cancer. But as I said, I would talk to her about her more, which I am now, which is obviously my favourite part of the movie. I thought Jane was absolutely incredible. And obviously she does go to Valhalla in the post-credit scene, where we see Heimdall, Idris Elba as Heimdall, which is absolutely incredible. We haven't seen him since, you know, Infinity War. So I thought that was incredible to see him again. It was kind of upsetting that we didn't see Odin. Obviously it would have been perfect to see Odin at Valhalla, but you know, we saw Jane go to Valhalla, which is amazing. Obviously she died in battle as Mighty Thor. She died a warrior, and that's where she goes. That's where they all go. They obviously go to Valhalla. And obviously at the end with Gore, I'd like to say Christian Bale did an absolutely amazing job as Gore. I thought, you know, he was an absolutely amazing job as the villain. I think this Gore is definitely one of my favourite MCU villains. You know, he does have a good point, you know, in this film, that at the start we see his origin story, where his family, you know, that his family sort of, well, no, you know, his planet is kind of dying, and his daughter is dying as well with it. And Gore is seeking out help from his god that he obviously worships. He prays to his god every day, and you know, he doesn't get any help at all. And eventually his daughter does die at the start, which I'll talk about later as well, which happens later on in the movie, and obviously we see later on and near the end. And yeah, obviously Gore's daughter dies, and he obviously not very happy by this, and he obviously wants revenge. You know, he then sees this, he obviously hears the voices from the Necro Sword that call out to him. Obviously, he is chosen by the Necro Sword to seek out the end of all the gods, which obviously he does want. He wants to end all the gods. He obviously goes into there and he sees the god that he worships, and the god basically tells him to piss off, and yeah, he just doesn't help him, basically, and basically Gore, his god tries killing him. The Necro Sword comes to Gore, and Gore kills that god, and now his mission throughout the film was to kill and wipe out all the gods, which, it is, from a certain point of view for some people in reality, it is, sort of true, sort of not. I'm not going to get into that debate. Some people believe in God, some people don't. I do believe in God, but I'm not going to get into that. But yeah, Gore is a cool villain in this film, and the story is really cool. I thought the plot obviously does make sense into real life as well, going into gods. Obviously they have to get it right, they don't want to get doing gods wrong. I thought Russell Crowe as Zeus was amazing as well. I thought that was absolutely incredible with Zeus. Obviously as the post-credits scene as well, which I'll talk about in a minute. But yeah, obviously where we thought Zeus died at the start, where Thor killed him, or when he took the lightning bolt, I thought Zeus was incredible throughout the film, and I can't wait to see more of him. As I said, I'll talk about the post-credit scene now. Obviously at the end we see Zeus does survive, and he then gets his son Hercules, who is obviously going to be the villain of the next film. It does look like he's going to be the villain of Thor 5, which looks very likely, and I can't wait to see Hercules. He looks like a very cool villain. But yeah, Thor 5 has obviously been set up from that. It does say at the end Thor will return, so obviously Thor 5 has obviously been set up. Gore, I want to go back to Gore as well now, because I thought Gore throughout this film was absolutely incredible, and at the end, he gets to eternity, which he basically gets to grant a wish, whatever wish he wants, and obviously his wish at first was for all the gods to die, basically, and to restart, and for every god to just be killed. And obviously Gore was dying because the Necro Sword was infecting him, but it was the only thing keeping him alive. If he had the Necro Sword, it means you can stay alive if you have the Necro Sword. It basically keeps you alive if you're dying, and he was dying from the Necro Sword infecting him anyway, but his mission and his goal from that was to wipe out all the gods. He got to the eternity, and he realized that from Thor, basically, that not all gods are the same, and it's more the thing he really wanted, Gore wanted the whole time, was love, and it was never kind of links to the story, Love and Thunder. Gore wanted love. He didn't want revenge, really. He didn't really want revenge. I think that he seeked it out because of the Necro Sword, which kind of persuaded him to do that. But the thing he wanted all along was his daughter, and who's obviously played by Chris Hemsworth's daughter in real life. And obviously Gore then realizes this and does bring back his daughter, who then now at the end is Uncle Thor, and he does look after her now, and I cannot wait to see where that story goes. It would have been nice to see if with Jane surviving as well, they could have done it together. I thought Gore was maybe going to wish for Jane to survive at first, but then I then realised that he was going to wish for his daughter to come back alive, which I really wanted to see Jane. I was very upset by Jane being obviously dying until I saw the post-credit scene of her going to Valhalla, which is very cool. But I thought there was more of a story going to happen with her being Mighty Thor. But then, as we knew, she had cancer, and it was killing her each time she used it. I think we knew that it was going to happen. I think we knew it by the end that she would die. But Thor has from this, he's realised, and from Jane dying, it gives him strength. He is obviously very upset by it, but he's going to move on. He has to look after Gore's daughter now, which is, he's looking at it as his own daughter, which I cannot wait to see more of. When we also saw in Jane versus Gore, I thought the battle scenes in this film, by the way, were absolutely incredible. I thought Valkyrie in this film, probably one of my favourite characters in the film with Jane. I love Valkyrie, she's so cool. Korg was very funny, as we know. And yeah, I thought the best thing about this was the fight scenes. I've seen many people say that the fight scenes weren't very good, and I'm guessing I'm going to see a lot of hate about the kind of the final battle as well, when Thor gave some of his power to the kids. I'm going to expect a lot of hate coming from that. I don't know why, because I thought the scene was pretty good. Obviously they could have done it in a better way, but with Heimdall's son there as well, Axel, I thought it was very cool. It's a very cool scene to see in Thor Love and Thunder. I thought it was very cool. And yeah, tell me what you thought of that scene. I'm expecting to see a lot of hate for it, because people don't like them sort of things in the MCU. But personally, I thought it was very cool to see. And yeah, I thought the fight scenes overall, though, were absolutely incredible. Gore, probably the standout in this film. Christian Bale was probably the standout. But my favourite characters in these films were probably Valkyrie, Gore, and Jane. I thought they were all very cool. But either way, every character in this film were absolutely amazing. I thought they, in their own unique ways, they were all very cool. Like I said, battle scene is probably the best thing about this film. And yeah, that's what my review on Thor Love and Thunder. Out of 10, I'll probably give it a 9. Now, I've seen a lot of people saying that it's not very, people don't really like it, and or if you say it's one of your favourite MCU movies, then you're not being honest, or whatever. I've seen a lot of people say that, but, I'm just being true, I'm being honest. I really did enjoy Love and Thunder, and I'm really enjoying where the MCU is going at the moment. I think people don't like change, people don't want change in the MCU, and I know it's going to be hard to move on from what we have in the MCU, what we've seen in the past, but we have to change or it'll get even more boring if it was the same. And there's going to be so many different variety of things in the MCU now that it's going to be very cool. And yeah, Thor Love and Thunder, absolutely incredible movie. I really did enjoy it. If you have seen it, tell me down below what you thought of it. Obviously, like I said, a 9 out of 10 for me. Everything about this film was incredible for me. There were some mistakes that obviously they could have done better. Obviously, the comedic sides, obviously we were expecting that from Thor Ragnarok that we saw as well going into Love and Thunder. Personally, I thought it was very funny as well, but there was a lot of seriousness obviously as well, which makes the film a whole lot better. So yeah, if you did enjoy this video today, please subscribe. I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you in the next one.